Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use a Jinhao 599 fountain pen. I'm going to show you the parts of the pen, teach you how to take it apart, clean it, put it back together, and write with it. Let's get started. This is a Jinhao 599 fountain pen. It's a cheaper version of the Lamy. I think it's the Lamy Safari. The difference being that this is a Chinese pen that's mass produced. I want to say I bought about 8 of them for $11 or something like that. And the reason I got this pen is because they're a great pen for kids who are starting out in the fountain pen world. You don't have to worry if your child loses them or whatever. They're really handy. A lot of people complain that these look like the Lamy Safari pens, but I feel like I mean, you can really tell the difference because the Lamy Safari is a piece of German engineering and everything is manufactured totally to spec. And this is a mass-produced Chinese product, which almost always functions, but doesn't always deliver the kind of writing experience that a Lamy would. So while the body looks like a Lamy, it isn't quite the same. So now I'm going to show you... the cap is fairly tight. It's you just pull that off so you can hear the click when that comes off. It actually takes a little bit of a struggle to get the cap off. And this is the nib section. This is a fine point nib. And I think they write pretty well. Like I definitely don't mind the nib. I'm going to open this up for you and show you the converter on the inside of this. This is the converter here, and the converter comes out like so, and you can fill that, and I'll show you how to do that when it goes back in, and then the section screws back on. There's a little window so you can see your ink level in there. See that? There's a little window where the ink is, you can kind of see that ink level in there. It's pretty cool. So now I'm going to show you how to refill the pen and how to write with it. This is how you clean a fountain pen. You take the nib section, which is right here, and you put it in. For the most part, you can use 100% water, but if you have some real dried out, caked on ink, you can try a 10% ammonia solution as well. And you want to kind of like stir it around there to get all the ink out of the nib as best you possibly can. I often use a Tupperware with a lid to do this because then I can kind of shake it and more of the ink will come out of there. So I never really bothered taking the section out of the pen. I suppose if it was really dirty, I could actually remove the nib from the pen. This is not something I've tried to do on the Jinhaos, but soak that overnight in there and rinse it out underneath a nice stream of water in the sink and you should be good to go. Okay, these are my inks. Normally when I fill a pen, I won't dump ink back in, but since I'm just demonstrating the filling process, I'm going to use one of my sample inks and dump this back in and then refill it in like a different color or something. So this is a green that I actually mixed. So what we can do is this is what's called a piston fill. So as we turn this, we can push that down and the ink will come out. When we stick the tip under the surface of the ink, we can turn it back the other way and it will fill. Oops, there we go. Anyway, so that's how you fill the pen. You twist the piston one way to get the ink out and the opposite way, clockwise, I guess, to fill. So, okay, let's have a writing experience with this pen and see how it writes. This is a fine nib. I really prefer the medium nib pens. Again, when you put it back in the section, you want to just, like that. Okay, so once we filled the pen, to put it back together, we insert the converter into the pen. We screw on the barrel. And the cap can be posted. You can write with the cap posted or not posted. It's a pretty large pen. So now we're going to write something. We'll do the classic quick brown fox sentence. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Okay, so here's the pen. Writes pretty well. It's not what I would call a very wet pen. Like if you do like this and then you run your hand over it, you can see it's a little wet, but it's not that wet. It depends on what kind of paper you write with, I would say. But it's it's a comfortable writing experience, and it's definitely a dependable pen. Like, I've never had an issue where I take the cap off and one of these won't write. They may not be the smoothest pen in the world, but they are a dependable pen. And like I said, I've given them to my children so they can learn script writing, and I won't cry when they lose them. And I also like to give them to friends as kind of an introduction to the fountain pen hobby. So thanks for checking in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.